Hey everybody, welcome to the House Church video for the first week of the Adventageous series. It's also a down week, and chances are you were at the Mexico Coffee House or you're putting together a hamper or something else this week. But if on the off chance your house church is still getting together and you're sitting there kind of like awkward, what do we talk about? Here's the House Church video where I reflect on my thoughts on last Sunday using our question mark, light bulb, and arrow. So we kicked the series off on this Sunday, and what I wanted to do was show that these four gifts of Christmas, hope, love, joy, and peace, are actually things that carry on through the whole year. And if you understand that and you know how to make those a part of your life for the whole year, you're at a distinct advantage in life, thus the title Advantageous. Pause there for murmurs of approval in House Church. Oh, I see. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we were talking about hope. And actually what we did was we started with Christmas, where hope is given, but then we looked at how that hope develops through the rest of Scripture. So it's a little bit like saying in our lives, hope at Christmas, but how does it develop through the rest of our lives? On the sermons, it's going to follow the pattern. Here's hope at Christmas. How did it develop through the rest of the Bible? So we started with Mary singing about what she was hoping for, and then we moved to a place where they had a much more fuller understanding of exactly what the hope was that Jesus brought. My question was about the kind of hope that Jesus brought. In 1 Peter, he says that it's a living hope. And that's an interesting term when you start to unpack it. It makes you think about like a dying hope or a dead hope. What exactly is a living hope? So I had lots of questions about living hope. One was, what's a living hope? Where do you get a living hope? How do I feel a living hope? But the biggest light bulb for me came out of the question, what is a living hope? And I think that the reason the light bulb was so big was because I've been familiar with this passage for most of my life, but I've never really studied it. And if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, a month ago, what's the living hope? I would have given you the stock answer, well, Jesus, he's the living hope. He's risen and he's full of hope and he is our living hope. But if you look at the text, actually, you see that he's not our living hope. Our living hope comes through him, for sure, but he's not our living hope. So my biggest aha moment was when I realized that the living hope wasn't Jesus, but rather it's something really surprising. Our living hope is the praise, glory, and honor that we Christians will receive when Jesus Christ is revealed. So now, that was a nice revelation, but honestly, it wasn't terribly exciting for me in the way that you would think a living hope ought to be, because I was wrestling with things like, well, should I want praise, honor, and glory? Like, what are we exactly talking about? Am I to be prideful and like hope for this? And so sorting all through that, my conviction out of it all is actually upon reflection, and we talked about it on Sunday. If we're honest, we understand that each of us has such an incredibly deep need for praise, honor, and glory, and that hunger was put there by God himself. And we seek to get praise, honor, and glory in other places, but we're just waiting with hopeful anticipation for the day when we actually receive it from Jesus. So my arrow was these things that I want, the attention that I want, the praise that I want, the glory that I want. It's not wrong to be hungry for those things. It's just difficult to find them apart from Jesus. And as you understand that there will be a day when you have a living hope that won't spoil, won't fade, won't perish, when Jesus' compliments and his praise for you just elevates your being, and you start to understand what that means and what that will mean for you, you can hardly wait to have the living hope. And you are then at an incredible advantage for the rest of your life, because you always have something that, as Peter puts it, is waiting in heaven for you. Have a great Advent season and have a great conversation in your house church. Make sure you bring a friend next week. You'll know by now that these are great sermons for people that don't often come to church. And so you want to, if you've got somebody on the radar, send an invite their way. Grace and peace, everybody.